Alright, what's going on YouTube? Double Edge Games here, and today I'm gonna Today I'm gonna be doing something a little bit different. I'm actually gonna do like a little podcast type thing because I tried to do this before with one of the homies and it just did not work. But we actually got everything going this time. So today we're just gonna go ahead and talk about just some of the stuff that not only either happened on E3 but mostly just regarding the Xbox S and all this other like 4K nonsense. But today I got the homie Dom with me. Go ahead and say what's up to the people.
What's going on? What's going on?
Alright, so he plays on Xbox One, I am on PC, so we can coexist, and it's not going to be no PC Master Race bullshit. So, anyway, let's just go ahead and just jump right into the entire thing. So, pretty much over E3, there was a new console that, well, actually two new consoles. The Xbox S, which is pretty much like a slim version, and then also there's the Xbox Scorpio. Those two. And of course, that shit claimed that it is the most powerful console ever and that it is 4K ready. And just from him being a console owner, would you literally buy a whole new console just to experience this whatever the fuck they're talking about? Would you buy the Xbox Scorpio?
Alright, let me just break it down to you like this. And I broke it down to a couple homies like this. Being a gamer for so long, you know, we've done this, you know, when it was in us, you know what I'm saying? To say right now that you gonna drop, let's throw some figures out there. Let's say like $700. Drop $700 on a new system. You just bought a system. You know, people are now adopting the new gen. I've adopted mine a year after the one was released, so I'm good. I'm right at that beautiful cusp. With the Scorpio, my only feeling is this: they adopted it. If those that are too young to remember, there was a such thing before Blu-ray as HD DVDs. The Xbox 360 ran HD DVDs. The PlayStation ran Blu-rays. HD DVDs went under about maybe 2 years of them, you know, coming out. So Xbox has a show adopting technology. So does PlayStation, because everybody was up in arms about that 3D shit. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Where's that? Not there. So I get that 4K will be the new age in, you know, 10 years. Let's say 10 years. Because it takes it to be cheaper in the overall system. Now I think is a lot premature. It's just coming too fast, you know. It's like you dating a girl and you're just, you know, you get it. You're coming too fast.
Mm-hmm. Okay then. Okay, I kind of see what you're saying.
But to be excited over it, yeah, we're all, you know, being a geek, you're always excited about that shit. But you're like 14 years old and you're running to it and you're coming too fast.
Well, so you're trying to say that they're rushing it and they shouldn't dive?
Oh yeah.
Shouldn't dive
no, nobody should dive into it. But with the S, the only issue I see coming out of that is for those who own an Xbox One, the thing runs like a beauty. You know, it barely makes any noise. The fan is nice in it, but they're gonna have a built-in power supply, so you won't have the big giant brick, power pack thing that protects against surges.
True.
So if that thing heats up fast enough because the power supply and the fan is connected and the fan is gonna be smaller, how many hours of hardcore gaming? And this goes for the people that play games and you use your Xbox for everything. It can be a cable box if you want it to be. But those who play games and get the grind on, how are you gonna do that? It'd be like PlayStation 3 all over again, thing overheat, boom, there goes dynamite.
Very true. Okay, I can understand that. So, just to tell you the truth, just because I own a PC and I don't own, any of the consoles or anything like that, when it comes to talking about 4K is expensive. People don't realize that, it's a 4K ready console. Yeah, we beat PlayStation. That's what they were thinking. They just kept thinking that, it just means that we're going to be the best. But y'all don't understand, or I'm not going to say you, I'm just saying the people who are getting excited for that, they don't understand how much 4K anything is going to cost. that's at least the console alone. At the very, very least, being nice is maybe $650. And then a 4K TV can run you anywhere from like maybe, even a few hundred from like a shitty 4K TV. When I mean a few hundred, I'm talking like 400, 300 maybe. But then adding all that stuff together, that's almost $1,000 spent just on a console. So you might, I'm gonna say it, just get a PC. It's that easy. Cause it's literally the same, just about the same exact games are coming over to PC anyway. So if you really want to try out 4K, you can even do it even cheaper on PC. But they always, claim that PC is just, all they care about is graphics. 4K is too difficult, or they don't understand it. But they're about to buy a whole nother console just to experience 4K, which that doesn't make any sense. They did say the good news is the games will all be compatible, so it's not just
it's a one. It's 4K compatible. And the one thing about the 4K, for those who don't know, because I have a friend that's a TV, he's a TV geek. He loves TVs. He games, but he's a TV geek. He's all about the TVs. And he said the problem with the 4K is if it's not a 60-inch or bigger, the effect isn't, you don't get the same effect that you need from the 4K. So, for those people that got the buku cash to spend, go ahead, buy you a system, stun on all the nerds, get your nerd swag up and go, ow! But
it's just
real people, for your gamers on a budget, go to Steam, get you a console, go to Steam, play your games, be happy that stuff is coming out.
Very true, very true.
That it's not the era of, look what this system can do. You can watch Netflix and do this and do. They're actually focusing on games.
Which is good. Which they should have done in the first fucking place, and they wouldn't have got all that goddamn hate they did for a couple of years.
Oh, man, the hate was, the salt of the earth was spilt over. You just tasted it in your mouth. It was like, oh. Game companies you was like, I'm gonna dump a bag of salt and cut you open. It was just stinging out.
It was bad. It was really, really bad. I understand why people were not, of course, not happy. I was definitely, I can understand that. But at the same time, it kind of was Xbox's fault, or it was Microsoft's fault in general. They literally kind of fucked themselves over. And then E3, they kind of fucked themselves over again, because not only did you give me zero reason to buy an Xbox One because all the shit's going to come over to PC anyway, but you're also showing off a 4K ready console that people are going to have to upgrade to a new console just to experience this. But at the exact same time, why make a whole nother console when technically they really don't need to? All they had to do is just bring some heavy hitter titles over, so all that money you just threw into and making two different consoles could have been pointed over just to make some good ass games that either could have been they could have been either on PC or Xbox One. So I don't understand that.
I don't see, the one thing I don't get with these companies, and I'm saying this for PlayStation, because I'm a gamer all through. I don't care what it's on, I want to play it, and I'm gonna buy me a PS4, eventually. But what I don't understand with these game companies right now, they're so focused on pumping out more systems.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Because the 360 and the PlayStation 3 had legs on it still. It would have reached its indie mark this year.
Yeah, if you saw what Shadow of Mordor looks like on Xbox 360, that shit looked like doo-doo. And it wasn't even just the fact that it couldn't run or like the hardware couldn't run it. It's just that devs they don't care to make it for that anymore. Like, how come Black Ops 2 look better than what Black Ops 3 looks like on Xbox 360 and stuff like that? So it's just the developers, they don't know how to, or they just don't care about making hardware for that anymore. But I just feel like that maybe they're trying to compete with PC, because in order for them to just bump up the hardware, they just keep, pumping out either new consoles or anything like that. So I think they're just trying to compete with it a little bit.
But sorry to cut you off, but at this point, like, it's kind of pointless. As a gamer, you're already going in your wallet. The struggle is real for anybody out here.
It is, but
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Steam sales are what saves lives, and Xbox had their big quote unquote kind of blockbuster Steam sale. You know, I'd call it like that.
I saw that shit. I did. I was kind of happy. I was happy.
It was a solid sale. I would have to say this. I shouldn't have bought as many as I did, but I did.
I'm glad they did though. It was pretty good. Because gaming is getting very expensive now. Like even some companies were even trying to like make their games cost anywhere like from $70 to like $80. Like that's what they wanted to do, but it's becoming very expensive to make a game. That's why a lot of them do microtransactions. Not because of course they like doing it. It's just because it helps them make even more money because games are just taking so much more. Like now, and then whenever they upgrade the hardware like they're doing now, then it's just gonna cost even more. I remember when games used to cost $50 and not $60.
Boy, that was the day. Those were the days, my man. That was a day when you were a kid. You had a birthday, and you asked for $100. You was a gamer. You knew I could get 2 blockbusters.
Yeah, shit, you was lucky. I got one.
Man, I $100. I was like, I'm buying 2.
Shit, you got lucky. I'm glad you enjoyed that shit because I only got one.
I enjoyed every bit of it, my homie. I was sitting at the crib. Homies be like, "Have you played the new?" I'm like, "Yep, got that." I beat games quicker, faster, stronger. I sound like a Daft Punk song. It was going down,
bruh.
And not in the DM, but on that D-pad. It was going down on the D-pad.
I know, bruh. But that was like some of the good old days in gaming. But I'm not saying like gaming is just complete trash nowadays. But it's not. It's not the same.
Gaming now is different.
It's very different.
It's DLC driven. It's you barely get a game. Okay, you barely get a game with a story. Story driven games don't exist.
You get a few, but they usually just are overcrowded by the AAA titles that are mostly just revolving around multiplayers and multiplayer options and stuff like that. But I mean,
which isn't bad.
There's some good ones out there, but there's not a lot, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But it's just because gamers are like, well, if it costs $60 and it only got single player, then what am I supposed to do? But I can understand that when it comes to fucking Quantum Break. Quantum Break told a really good story, but that game was short as fuck. That was the biggest problem I had. It was short as shit.
That's the one thing I'm waiting for it to drop in price where I can just download it and play it and be like, okay, that was a fun game.
Oh, definitely wait for the price drop. That shit's definitely worth at least $30. Even though I will bitch about a game not having a good story, me and you go to school together. We know each other. We kick it. So the one thing you can say about me is I was a big seller on 2 games that most of the people in my circle had bought. Yeah, The Division. You played the shit out of it. Like
Division. I played it up, and even though it's broken, and they just need to figure out what they're doing with it. It's a good game. And Witcher 3, and what's the Metal Gear.
Those are completely flame ass games.
With great story.
Exactly. They're still very, very good games. Very good.
And Witcher has free DLC.
Very true. Very true.
For the majority of its content. And when you're paying $10 for something, you get an extra 30 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Not 30 minutes, people. Let me say this. Hours.
Yeah, some devs are not as generous or don't have the full-fledged drive to just make a game, not for just money, but they literally made that game on the intent of just love for making games. That's what their goal was, and you can clearly see it in their work. So you can tell from just a cash grab, and you can actually tell from somebody like, hey, I actually want to make this game good for people. So you can usually tell by that kind of stuff, but
and that's gonna sell a console too.
Mm-hmm. If they have some exclusives like that, if CD Projekt Red made some game exclusive on any console, it would sell because they're a renowned development team. Like, look what Overwatch did. Blizzard's name alone boosted that game all the way up to Twitch's number 2 or 3.
It probably was 2.
And if Blizzard
It
had nothing
probably
to do
was
with that
too.
game, nobody wouldn't even fucking known about it. And that's how.
No,
That's
no,
how.
it would have been swept under the rug in Battlefront would have what was that? Not Battleborn, whatever. Battleborn would have took over the spot, and Battleborn had the legs. It had the potential, but that got swept under the rug. That Overwatch was like, yo, we coming through the door blasting.
Pretty
Like
much.
Tupac,
It was literally Blizzard's name. I felt like nobody would have cared about it if Blizzard did
Oh,
not make it.
definitely. Blizzard has learned how to. They've done the Japanese thing in the universe. They're the only. Aren't they an American-based company? Probably.
Tell you the truth, I know they're partnered with Activision or some shit like that. I think I don't know, but
Well,
I'm guessing that they're I don't know where the fuck they are. I just know that they just make flame ass games from what everybody else is doing.
They've made crack games. They hook you. It's crack.
They do. They made what was it? They made
They made Warcraft and StarCraft, Diablo. Now,
Yep.
for anybody gaming at any point in time in your life, if you played on a PC, the only thing I was playing on PC was Warcraft 3. When it got to the world of Warcraft, dudes lost their girlfriends.
Yeah, people went crazy for that game. I don't see it. I personally don't play it, but people go crazy.
I'm old enough to, when that game came out, I was in high school. People wasn't graduating on time.
Yeah, they got the shit out of it.
With
Yeah.
with 4.0s, college ready. Their lives was over.
Very true.
Do you know why video chatting is game?
You say what?
You know why video chatting and buying pizza online exist?
Because people played that game.
Because of Warcraft.
I didn't see it. I've never played it. I know it's probably a decent game, but
I
it's
refuse.
not, I don't know.
refuse. I get free subscriptions from people every couple years. They be like, "Oh, you like that? Come, hey, go pick that up." I'm like, no.
I don't play it. I can't.
I'm
It's
addicted to
not for me.
things of it. I'm gonna be that dude in the basement eating pizza.
Yeah, I can't.
And I live by myself.
It's just not. I don't know.
The only day was works.
It's not a game for me. I mean, I may play like some of the older some of those fantasy type games. I will play them. They're not bad, but I don't know. Maybe one day I'll play it, but for right now I'm not ready to give up my life.
You spent a lot of time on Division. I can't imagine spending any time. I'm done.
I wouldn't, bruh. But what was the I think there was one more thing regarding of what we were just talking about with E3. The one thing Sony did right that I will definitely agree with is that they showed off a ton of exclusives, which to tell you the truth, Microsoft did, but at the same time they have it to where you can get it on the PC, and for those PC gamers, who don't own an Xbox One, this gives you zero reason. But for the gamer who has an Xbox One and PC, hey, it's perfect because you can only buy a game once and then it's on both platforms, so you wouldn't have to worry about buying the game a second time just to see it on a different platform.
I feel like the thing with PlayStation, and Xbox wants to bring the PC gamer and the Xbox gamer into the community. They want to build a community again. I have friends that are. My roommate is a PS4 user, and some good friends of mine. One of my friends I play on Xbox with, our closest friend is a PlayStation 4 user. And the one thing that I talked about when I looked at E3 was, did you see the community aspect of stuff they're bringing to the live network?
I saw that.
Okay, so they're going back to the roots with the community-based thing, which is good. I think gaming is a very social and antisocial thing at the same time. If it makes sense for me to say that.
Trust me, I understand. It is.
Okay, so when they bring the social aspect in, and when they bring the message boards kind of a thing, where it's like, oh, anybody want to do this? I'm looking for this. That's great.
Yep.
the problem with PlayStation is PlayStation's always trying to community, and they hit a mark where but because they're a system that works on, they have great games. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yes,
everything that they showed, I was kind of like.
Kind of caught your eye, didn't it?
Oh man, I hate because they already sold me because they got Shenmue last year, and I was just like, oh, here we go. Either I buy a PC or I buy a PlayStation, and I might as well just buy a PlayStation because they got Yakuza. They got Yakuza 0, which is the prequel to Yakuza. Twin Dragons, for those who like to know the real title of that series, Twin Dragons. Okay. Or The Dragon, for those, but this one's going to be called Twin Dragon.
Yeah. And to piggyback on what you said real quick, when you said they're trying to bring them together, yeah, that is true, but at the same time, they're going to get the money for, what they're going to put out, because people are going to buy it on that Microsoft store, but that store is ass on PC. And then, for the people who, if they really want to sell consoles, then that's not the way technically to do it. I'm not complaining if they bring games over. They can bring as many of them as they want to. We still wait on Halo. But when they're bringing, pretty much unifying it together, they're going to clearly get money off of just the game. I don't know how their console's clearly going to sell, but I don't think it's going to sell as good as if they were
my theory with these consoles, and especially with this new one, the Xbox hardware will just become all digital. You know what I'm saying? All digital. It is so comfortable, and I mean, look, I see why you Steam users get fucked hard, because not in a bad way, but you guys just kind of focus. You mess your wallet game up. You know what I'm saying? That's why Steam sales are great, because it's just right at a click of, back in the day when you downloaded a game on Xbox, it took forever. Your DLC took forever. With the Xbox, 2 seconds, I can go, I want that game.
It just also depends on your download speed, too. You gotta have A1 internet if you're gonna go all digital, because if you're not, it's gonna take a long time to download games, which is the issue that I have.
Oh, you don't got.
I have boo-boo internet. It takes a while. Yes, I have to literally really want to play a game if it's gonna take up like gigs. And then also I need to upgrade my hard drive soon, because I only got I don't even have a terabyte yet, but I have 500 gigs. But 500 gigs sounds like a lot, but that gets filled up very, very soon. Very fast.
I'm almost. I gotta figure out if the apps are taking up my terabyte, because ladies and gentlemen, I was such a gamer that I decided that I had to throw a terabyte on my Xbox, and they give you a lot of space. They give you tons of space.
If you're gonna have a lot of games, yeah, you need that shit.
They gave me. I threw a terabyte on it. I think I had to go through now and stop downloading things. I'm such when you're a gamer, you just want it. You kind of just want things on you at all times. But yeah, to go back to what you said with the PlayStation Network and all that stuff, I think PlayStation is gonna always have games, because I think Microsoft is just trying to merge. They're trying to get you so much in your back pocket where you can just pick up your phone, drop in the Xbox this way, that stuff is good for the gamer on the go. For the American gamer, that's what we want. Because Japan's always had that. That's nothing new. Going back to Dreamcast, they had everything from you can be connected to this, that, and the other. But on a gaming side, I just think it needs to come to a point where when Steam makes their console, which they will, it's over.
Look, it's just the fact that if they're going to try to compete with PC, they kind of lost. I'm not saying because PC is that good. It's just because of the fact that
everything is on it.
And it's not even that. It's just that PC, the way the platform is it's always improving. It's always upgrading. They literally already came out with almost 20 gigabyte graphics cards. I think the Titan has I think it's 12 or maybe 16 gigs maybe.
Oh yeah,
which is a lot. You don't even need that much. If you want to build a gaming computer, you can build one off of a 7870 graphics card that literally only has 12 2 gigabytes of video RAM. So you technically don't need that much. But when, dealing with next gen, you might want to upgrade, to maybe like 3 or 4 or anything like that. But PC's always upgrading. It's always changing. So they're going to lose the fight unless they make a console every couple years, because it's not going to work out. And then necessarily, even if you wanted to, get into PC, you don't need something that's like $1,000. You can build a budget build for like $500, and it can shit on, any game that you want to play. Just depends on if you know your specs or not. But that's pretty much it. That's all I was going to pretty much talk about. But I think we took up enough time. I think we pretty much covered just about all that stuff with that bullshit.
Yeah, most definitely, man. And I hope everybody enjoyed me on this. I appreciate being on your show.
Nah, you good, bro. You good. It's just gotta get this out, because I know some people have some thoughts about this besides me. But anything in closing that you want to say, just go ahead and say it now before we go ahead.
Hey, man. Like I said, I just appreciate games.
Mm-hmm.
I do other facets of nerddom. So, if this continues and you like what I'm saying, I know you're gonna like what my man's saying, because he's all about his games. So, just click that like button, comment below.
Hell
and that's all you know.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, nice closing argument, like a little closing statement right there. But pretty much, I would just like to thank everybody for tuning in. If you would like to add to the discussion, feel free to say it in the comments down below. And as always, thank you guys for tuning in. This is Double Edge Games and Homie Dom, and peace out.